Have you ever bought something handmade or not mass produced from a vendor, either on something like Etsy or if you go to a little market boutique or something? And sometimes there'll be that little disclaimer that says this product will have defects or slight variations in it because it is handmade. That's what makes it unique. They almost have to tell you not to expect perfection because it's not mass produced and that it's actually okay. It's a good thing. It's a desirable thing that there will be variations slightly from one to another, that there'll be minor imperfections, because that demonstrates the handmade quality of it, that is authentic and real. That's sort of, I think, the point that Jesus is making for us today. Because there's something off-putting about perfection. I mean, on the one hand, there's a temptation towards perfection. And it can really darken some people's lives that they strive for perfection, that I have to be perfect. I have to have everything just so. I have to do everything just right, that everything has to be in line. Otherwise, we beat ourselves up or we're not happy and we keep striving for the perfect. But the reality is, perfection isn't real. And whenever you encounter that person who seems to be perfect, there's something we don't like about them. Because ultimately, it's not that, but it's that there's a lie being told. There's a false front, a facade. There's something not real there. Your social media post is too perfect. Your family is too perfect. You are too perfect. That can't be real. There is nothing in this world that is perfect. And my own life is so messed up. And my own experiences are so broken. And the people that I know don't have that kind of life. So when I see that in someone else, the temptation sometimes is to want that, to drive that, or to beat ourselves up. Well, why isn't my family as perfect as theirs? Why isn't my life as right or as good as theirs? Why isn't this right? And we can beat ourselves up and never experience happiness. Because striving for perfection is striving for the impossible. It's striving for the unreal. And to search for the unreal, to search for the impossible, will always leave us grasping for straws, wanting more, because it doesn't exist. This is why the Beatitudes strike such a totally different chord. Because when we listen to the Beatitudes, we hear Jesus lauding imperfection. Blessed are you who mourn, who are grieving, who are weeping, that your life is broken, that someone was lost to you, that something before you dissolved and it's no longer yours. Blessed are you who hunger and thirst for righteousness because the world around you is messed up and broken. Blessed are you who are persecuted for doing what is right, that you don't live in a perfect society. Blessed are you for these things. And we might stop and ask ourselves, but Lord, how can that be blessed? How can I be blessed in grief? How can I be blessed when I am mourning? Or how can those who are blessed, who are almost nothing by the world's standards, the meek and the humble, the poor and the distressed? They are blessed because they are real. And reality is the only thing that can be blessed. Only that which is real is of God and like God. God himself, for goodness sakes, told Moses that his name was I am. I am. Reality. Being. This is it. And anything that is not of reality is a lie. And it is a temptation. And it comes from the evil one. Something that is not real does not smack of authenticity, and it is not of God. And it makes us then inauthentic, less like God, and ultimately unhappy. Because the thing about reality. And the thing about when Jesus expresses these Beatitudes to us, what makes them really blessed is not just that they are real, but that those who are experiencing those imperfections and are okay with them, that's what makes them blessed, because they're okay with the imperfection. They are free. And when we are free, we are happy. You cannot be free if we are constantly trying to put on the facade. If I'm trying to make my life look perfect, if I'm trying to make my marriage look perfect, if I'm trying to make my family look perfect and hide all of the imperfections, if I can't ask for help because that would show weakness, I can't express my negative feelings because that's not right. When I operate under that set of rules, it's like trying to keep all the plates spinning in the air. I'm trying to cover all the bases, and I'm trying to make sure that everything is being held together. And that does not make us free, but it does just the opposite. It makes us a slave. It makes us a slave to that which is not real. It makes us a slave to sin, to inauthenticity, ultimately to bearing false witness. That we are giving a false witness of who we are to God and to one another. And what it ends up doing then is it creates division. It is these folks who Jesus highlights in the Beatitudes who are not divided, but rather united. Because those who are going through things together find strength. And it is in that communion that they are uplifted and supported and know God's love. Because they know the love of one another. And they are okay with letting their weakness be shown. Can I be okay with making a mistake in front of you? Can I be okay with falling down? Can I be okay with doing something that isn't perfect or having something in my life that maybe isn't the way it should be? Okay, it's not perfect. It's not ideal. It shouldn't be there, but it's where I'm at right now. And it's where my family is right now. And it's what's going on in my life right now. And that's okay. Because we turn that over to God for His purification, for His grace. If I put the facade up, the Lord comes knocking on the door, and I can't open the door because it's not a real door. You can't open the door of a picture. You can't open the door of a facade. It's not real. God can never get in until I open the door and say, this is where I am hurting. This is where I am weak. This is where I need help. Well, now the door is open and the Lord can come in. Blessed are you then who admit your grief, who admit your problems, who admit your weakness, who admit the false things in your life. Blessed are you because now the Lord can come in and transform everything. That's why these folks are blessed. And that's what we yearn for. Yesterday, at the conclusion of our parish retreat here, we had a sharing of graces. And one of the things that came up over and over again was the reality that I'm not alone. That there are other people here that are struggling with the same things I'm struggling with. Or at least different things, but kind of in the same way. That here I thought I was the only one who had a messed up life, or that I was the only one who's carrying this burden, or I was the only one who didn't know where to turn or what to do, or had a past that was dark, that I was the only one. But now I see I'm not. The evil one wants to divide us. The evil one wants to keep us apart, isolated, so that we think we're the only ones carrying whatever it is we're carrying. I'm the only one ugly. I'm the only one sick. I'm the only one broken. I'm the only one imperfect. I'm the only sinner. And the evil one keeps us in that little isolated bubble. And all we do then is beat ourselves up, close ourselves down, and never let God or anyone else in. It is communion that opens us up and unites us. And when we are united and we realize It's okay to be broken. It's okay to have fallen. It's okay to be imperfect. It's okay to have an addiction. It's okay to have all of these things in our lives so that I can say that and ask for help and reach out for salvation. Not alone, but with one another. Blessed are those who give their weakness over to God. So blessed are we. We are the ones who are broken, who are mourning, who are grieving, who are sick, who are ugly, who are sinful. We are the ones who carry all these things in our heads. You're not alone. The person sitting next to you, across from you, in front of you, behind you, in front of you. We're the ones who are blessed because we are so imperfect. But we have realized that that imperfection has only one place to go. Not the fiction of perfection, not the fiction of trying to make it perfect, but rather the reality of bringing our broken self to the altar and saying, Lord, fill my emptiness. Feed me with yourself so that I can be lifted up. Oh yes, that's what it means to be blessed, to be real. So don't give in to the temptation of living behind the facade and spinning the plates. Be authentic. Be real with yourself and one another. And learn what it means to be free, to be blessed, to be truly free because you're comfortable with who you are. And you know you are not the Savior. God is, and He will save you in your weakness.